There is a market that we've been working on behind the scenes that is ready for us. So you probably all guessed that we're going to the land down under.
So you could really feel the excitement in the room when you got on stage and announced the opening of our next international market being Australia. To make sure we're all on the same page, can you walk us through the key milestones and timing going into the opening of that market?
Sure thing. You know, Charlie, that was a really special moment for me and for Rodan & Fields in making that Australia announcement. You could feel the energy coming in from the audience. It was very, very cool. What's going to happen from a milestone perspective is over the next 6 months, we're going to be executing on 2 major technology installations. Those are going to help us determine the exact date when we're going to be launching the Australian market, which means products will be available, you'll be able to sponsor, everything will be up and running. Prior to that, we're going to have our RFX Circle trip in July, where we're going to take all of our RFX Circle leaders to Australia. That's really a unique opportunity because we're going to be able to combine business and pleasure, and really it's going to be an expression of our brand, and it's going to help us set the stage for when we do launch the market. After the RFX trip, probably fall, that's when we're planning to launch our pre-enrollment program. And the pre-enrollment program basically means that our consultants will be able to talk to prospects, see and gauge their interest, and introduce them to Rodan & Fields, specifically to Australia, and have them get ready for the business. So they'll be signing up. We won't be sending any products. We won't be charging any credit cards, similar to what we've done with Canada, which was really successful for us.
So it sounds like consultants have a little bit of time leading into the opening of Australia to do some due diligence. What are some of the things you suggest that consultants should be doing in these months coming ahead if they're interested in building a global business?
That's a great question, Charlie. My recommendation for our consultants is to focus on building a strong, stable organization in the United States and Canada. That's a critical component of anyone that wants to go international. You want to have the ability to grow your business internationally after you've built a solid organization here in North America. And there's a tremendous runway. We know that. We have the data, both in the US and definitely we've just opened up Canada.
Oran, any quick pointers that consultants should take into mind before we open the Australian market of things they shouldn't be doing?
Sure. I got a lot of questions on should I be traveling to Australia now? The answer is no. You shouldn't be traveling to Australia unless you have family or you've got some other reason that's not Rodan & Fields to be traveling to Australia. However, as you are building your business in the US, having Australia as our next market is another conversation piece. And finding out who has connections to the Australian market is a good thing to do. So you can start to create the list. So when we do get into the pre-enrollment program, you can get in touch with those people, get them engaged, and have them focused on Australia.
Clearly, Oran, you have a depth of knowledge and experience when it comes to opening international markets. What lessons have you learned from leaders as they've looked to expand their global businesses?
You know, what's interesting, Charlie, is what I found after opening several markets around the world from scratch, from literally a piece of paper, a blueprint, to a full-fledged, growing, successful business, is it doesn't matter which continent or which country, the behaviors remain the same and the criteria remain the same. And what I've learned from working with some wonderfully successful leaders around the world is that, one, those that have been able to grow an international business have a solid, strong organization where they are locally. So they've already lived through the ups and downs in their practice. They're true practitioners. That means that they have the leaders that can step in while they're away. They've got consistent income that they can count on. They have the ability to invest without having them take it back. And they have family support, just support all around to do this, because it does require time, money, and resources for this to be successful, a successful engagement.
Speaking of successful, you clearly have laid out a very clear plan for consultants as they're building their business. It shows a lot of thinking on the corporate side. So walk me through a little bit some of the questions you've asked and some of the things that you've done as a team as we've explored new markets at RNF.
Oh, that's easy. You know, we get a call from a guy from Micronesia and he says, I've got a guy who wants to buy your product, and we're on a plane. No, that's not how we do things at Rodan and Fields. We're very deliberate in our process. And while we do get asked on a regular basis about different markets, we have a deliberate and strategic model that we've created specifically for Rodan and Fields. The model is built on 4 contributing factors. The first is, of course, our brand and the equity that the doctors have created, not only in the United States, but globally. How is their brand and their equity expressed in the marketplace? What is the strength of that? Secondly, how does the channel manifest itself in different markets? What are the regulatory constraints? Is it something that's acceptable? Is it readily adopted? Or are there constraints there that we need to take into consideration? Third are the macroeconomic indicators. Where is the market from a life cycle perspective? Is it first, second, or third world? What are some of the key indicators that we should be looking at in order to plan ahead? And fourth, and the most important is, of course, the skincare category. And what does it mean? How big is it? Where is it going? And within that, the premium skincare category, which is what we represent, what are we seeing there from a signal perspective and where it's going? Does it fit from a value proposition? And we put all those together, and we've created a list, a wave of markets, if you will, for the next several years. And as you know, and I've shared in both conventions, we're focused on Asia and Asia Pacific, because we believe and we truly know that there is 3.5 times more of a market share in that geography than there is in the US. So it's very compelling, and that's what we're going to be doing. So we don't easily divert from our strategy. We believe that consistency and being conservative and very focused is something that's helped us become who we are.
So to wrap it up, if consultants have any questions, I've been told they can go to a great FAQ put together in the Business Development Library under the International folder, and also they can send emails to australiaquestions@rodanandfields.com. Any final words of wisdom for consultants looking to expand internationally?
1, focus on your local market. 2, start to create a list of potential prospects. 3, don't get involved in any pre-market activities. And 4, take a step back, enjoy the ride. We've got an entire world to explore, and it's going to be great. Thank you, Charlie.